have access to everything all the time at every given moment. So it is always there. And not only is it always there, but it's always pinging you, right? It doesn't matter how many notifications you turn off. It is a constant awareness that everybody, everywhere is always right on top of you.
And by the way, you've told me that this is not a problem for you all in the classroom. In the classroom, they leave their cell phones behind, or they're not looking at them, or they're turning them off. So give me a concrete example now.
Definitely. So two students, a student and adult, it's 4 p.m. They're out on the patio. They're in the lounge in the dormitory, and they don't know each other so well. And because they have their smartphone in their pocket, both of them, again, young adult, happens all the time. And you've probably experienced it as well in a waiting room, on a subway, wherever, right? You both go onto your phone and you talk with someone you already know well, or someone you've never met, but who you share an interest in. And again, that's an important kind of connection, but we're talking about it all the time, right? And so they're both on their phone chatting with a friend, and it might be a friend on campus even, right, on the other side of campus. But as a result, they don't chat with each other face to face in person. A friendship that might have happened does not happen. A mentorship relationship that might happen happens a little bit less, because it's that much harder to take that step of maybe talking with someone you don't know, of maybe making a friendship with someone you haven't really gotten along with so much, in the past. You see it in the art studio, or even by not going to the art studio. These are incredible entertainment devices. They're incredible distraction devices. They fill time like so powerfully and completely. And as a result, we don't have what often seems like a negative emotion, but like truly is also a creative one, of boredom, of not knowing what to do with our time, of a moment when we are in our still self, looking for something to do, maybe feeling a little uncomfortable about that, bored, right? But it's right after that moment of boredom that we have seen that someone goes to the art studio and they pick up a paintbrush that they didn't before, or they go to the practice room and they pick up an instrument that they're not so familiar with, or they start talking to that person they're not so friendly with, because I want to talk to somebody and they're the only one here right now, right? So those are concrete examples of how the social, extracurricular, artistic, aesthetic, like all outside of the classroom, but all moments where a smartphone might get in the way of giving you that time, giving you that space, and even giving you that boredom that results in taking the next step in your own growth, in your community growth, in your experimentation with something that might feel a little uncomfortable. Because above all, these devices are comfortable. They're so comfortable. They just take away those feelings of boredom, of discomfort, of I don't know what to do with myself right now. I'll scroll. That'll take the time. That will. But that is time when you could have been doing something new in the art room. You could have been meeting someone new, or even you could have just been sitting there listening to that voice in your head, right? Getting to know yourself better, which is fundamentally the project of progressive education, to realize how deeply you can know yourself and grow in that capacity. But you got to give yourself time for that. You got to give yourself space for that. And it is so counter to that project to have a billion voices screaming at you at any given moment, or able to.
Before I let you go, I don't know if you're still teaching the daily themes class.
I am. Yeah, I love it. I can't stop teaching, Michael. As much as I like doing this administrative work, and as important as it is to help Buxton in whatever way I can, I cannot leave the classroom.
All right, so daily themes class, it's pretty intense. And it really, I saw what it makes you, if you are a dedicated student and you are following the assignments, it makes you a more fluent writer. Just describe for everybody, if you're in Peter Beck's daily themes class, transposed from the Yale class to Buxton boarding school, what's the day like? Or what's the period like?
So the way it works is a student gets a short prompt every day that they respond to in a short piece of writing, 200 to 300 words. You do that every single day, and you develop this habit of writing, this habit of creativity. You don't wait around for inspiration to strike, right? But you know that when you show up to the page, to the prompt, to the writing, that something is going to happen every day, right? And it's not always going to be great. You're not always going to love it. In fact, it is an incredible class for a perfectionist who can't bear to share anything until it's perfect or beautiful, because you can't do that every day. But if you do something every day, some of it will be perfect. Some of it will be beautiful. Some of it will astound you and your peers in terms of what you pulled off. And you just can't wait around for that. You have to be putting in the work every day to get that to happen. So every week we cover a larger topic in our writing. So it started with things, and then places and people, style, voice, memory, fantasy, rules, beginnings, endings. And within each week, there are 5 prompts. A different, so right now they're working on memory, and yesterday's prompt was write about something that happened more than 5 years ago, right? Or today's was write about something that happened this week, right? Exploring all the different ways you can interact with memory in your writing, things, places, people, style, and all of it again, originally inspired by a class I took in college, but then adapted for high schoolers, adapted for teenagers, and adapted for a pretty incredible creative group of artistic teenagers. I love teaching it. I love reading what everyone writes. I think it is just it's it's really special. It's really fulfilling, for myself and hopefully for all the writers.